English Hidden Podcast.
Daily Life English Conversation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Hidden Podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Sarah.
Sarah, do you think people can really change the way they think? Sometimes we know we need to think differently, but changing an old habit can be difficult.
I think it is difficult, but definitely possible. The first step is noticing how we talk to ourselves when something goes wrong.
That's true. We often become much harder on ourselves than we would be with someone else.
Exactly. If a friend makes a mistake, we might say, "Don't worry. Everyone makes mistakes." But when we make the same mistake, we sometimes say, "I'm terrible at this."
I've definitely done that. One small mistake can suddenly feel like proof that we're not good enough.
And that's where our mindset becomes important. The mistake itself may not be the biggest problem. Sometimes the way we think about the mistake is what makes us feel worse.
So what would be a better way to look at failure?
Instead of saying, "I failed, so I'm not good at this," you could say, "I didn't get the result I wanted, but I can learn from this." That doesn't change what happened, but it changes what you do next.
I like that. You're not pretending the failure didn't happen. You're simply choosing to learn from it.
Exactly. A positive mindset doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. It means looking for a useful way forward, even when something is difficult.
That's an important point. Sometimes people think positive thinking means ignoring problems.
Yes, but that's not realistic. Everyone has bad days. Everyone feels disappointed sometimes. The goal isn't to avoid negative feelings. The goal is to not let one bad moment control your entire life.
I think that's something many people struggle with. For example, imagine you have a bad morning. You wake up late, you miss the bus, and then you're late for work. Suddenly you think, "Today is going to be a terrible day."
Exactly. And then every little problem feels bigger because you've already decided that the day is terrible.
So how could you change that thought?
You could simply say, "This morning didn't go well, but the rest of the day hasn't happened yet." That's a small change, but it gives you another chance.
I like that. We're often too quick to decide how the rest of the day will go.
And the same thing happens with our lives. One bad experience doesn't tell us what the future will look like.
That's true. Another thing that affects our mindset is comparison.
Oh, yes. Comparing ourselves with other people can be exhausting.
Especially with social media. You can open your phone for 5 minutes and see someone traveling, getting a promotion, buying a house, or starting a successful business. Then you look at your own life and wonder, why am I not there yet?
But you're only seeing a small part of their life. You don't know what they're dealing with behind the scenes.
Exactly. We compare our everyday life with someone else's best moments.
And that's not a fair comparison. Instead of asking, "Why am I behind them?" try asking, "Am I making progress compared with who I was before?"
That's a much healthier question. Maybe 6 months ago you were afraid to speak English. Today, you're having conversations. That's progress.
Exactly. Progress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's simply doing something a little better than you did before.
And I think that's important for English learners too. You don't need to speak perfect English tomorrow.
Right. Maybe today you learn 5 new words. Tomorrow you practice speaking for 10 minutes. A month later, you may notice that conversations feel much easier.
Small improvements can become big changes when you keep doing them.
That's why consistency is often more important than motivation.
That's interesting. Why do you think consistency is more important?
Because motivation changes. Some days you feel excited and ready to work. Other days you don't feel like doing anything. If you only take action when you're motivated, you'll probably stop often.
But if you create a simple routine, you can keep going even when you don't feel motivated.
Exactly. You don't need to study English for 3 hours every day. Even 15 or 20 minutes of focused practice can help if you do it consistently.
That's much more realistic. And I think the same idea works for exercise, reading, saving money, and many other goals.
Absolutely. Small habits may look unimportant at first, but they can change your life over time.
There's another thing I think we should talk about: negative self-talk.
That's a big one. Sometimes the person who talks to us the most negatively is actually ourselves.
We say things like, "I'm not smart enough, I can't do this," or "I'll never succeed."
And if you repeat those thoughts every day, you may start believing them.
So what should we do instead?
You don't need to lie to yourself and say, "I'm perfect." Try something more realistic. Instead of "I can't do this," say, "I'm still learning how to do this."
I like the word still. It means you're not finished yet.
Exactly. You may not be good at something today, but that doesn't mean you'll never improve.
That's especially important when learning a language. Making mistakes is part of the process.
Yes. If you're waiting to speak English until your English is perfect, you may wait forever. You improve by actually using the language.
And sometimes you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's true. Growth usually requires us to do things that feel a little difficult.
Like speaking to someone new, applying for a job, trying a new skill, or simply doing something you've been afraid to do.
Exactly. Fear doesn't always mean, "Don't do it." Sometimes fear simply means, "This is new."
That's a powerful way to think about it.
And there's another mindset change that can make life easier. Focusing on what you can control.
That's difficult sometimes. We spend so much time worrying about things we can't change.
We can't control what other people think. We can't change the past. And we can't predict everything that will happen tomorrow. But we can control our actions today.
So instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we can ask, "What can I do about it now?"
Exactly. That question moves you from complaining to action.
Let's say you didn't get the job you wanted. You could spend weeks thinking, "I'm unlucky. Nobody wants to hire me." Or you could ask, "What can I improve before my next interview?"
That's a much stronger mindset. Maybe you need more interview practice. Maybe your resume needs improvement. Maybe you need to apply for more positions. You can't change the decision that was already made, but you can prepare for the next opportunity.
And sometimes that's all we need, another opportunity.
Exactly. One rejection doesn't mean every future opportunity will end the same way.
I also think gratitude can change the way we see our lives.
Definitely. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop having goals. You can want more and still appreciate what you already have.
For example, you can want a better job while being grateful that you have work.
Or you can want to improve your English while being proud of how much you've already learned.
That's a healthy balance. You appreciate today while working toward tomorrow.
Exactly. And maybe that's what a better mindset really means. Not becoming positive every second. Not pretending that problems don't exist. But learning to respond to life in a healthier and more useful way.
So if someone listening today wants to change their mindset, where should they start?
I'd start very small. Pay attention to your thoughts. When you notice a negative thought, don't immediately believe it. Ask yourself, is this a fact, or is this just an assumption?
That's a great question. And then?
Choose one small action you can take. Don't try to change your whole life in one day. Change one habit. Practice one skill. Have one difficult conversation. Take one step toward a goal.
And then do it again tomorrow.
Exactly. Because a stronger mindset isn't built in one day. It's built through small decisions repeated over time.
Before we finish, let's review 5 useful words from today's conversation. First, mindset. Mindset means the way you think about yourself, your life, and different situations. For example, a positive mindset can help you deal with challenges.
Word focus. Second, assumption. An assumption is something you believe is true without knowing all the facts. For example, don't make an assumption before you know the truth.
Third, progress. Progress means improvement or movement toward a goal. For example, I'm making progress with my English.
Fourth, consistency. Consistency means doing something regularly instead of doing it only sometimes. For example, consistency is important when learning a new skill.
And the fifth word is gratitude. Gratitude means being thankful for the good things you have. For example, practicing gratitude can help you appreciate your life.
So, remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Start with one thought, one habit, one small action.
Don't let one mistake define you. Don't compare your journey with someone else's. And don't wait until you're perfect before you begin.
Keep learning, keep growing, and give yourself time. Your mindset can change, and when your mindset changes, the way you see your life can change too.
Thanks for listening to us today. We hope you enjoyed this conversation and learned some useful English along the way.
Keep practicing your English, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.
See you next time.